Okay, welcome to day 9.
We just did that. Ooh, you might have missed it 2 seconds ago.
No, cut that part out.
Which part? The first one where you said hi? Okay. Welcome to day 9. We're talking about 2 Corinthians 3:14 through 18. So, what's interesting... Okay, so walk with me here through this thought. If you've read the Bible in the Old Testament, Moses ascended the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And he spent time in God's presence, in full view of God's glory. And when he came down from the mountain, he reflected that glory. And it scared the Israelites so much that he put a veil over his face to dim the glory because they were afraid of it. So a veil covered their hearts. Fear covered their hearts. Now, who wrote 2 Corinthians? Paul.
Paul wrote most of it, and I don't know them.
Whoever, I'm pretty sure it was Paul, is saying here that when he's talking about in their day, in his present day, when people at the temple read the Old Testament aloud, a veil covers people's hearts metaphorically because it's the old law, it's the old way. Before Jesus had come, there was still that separation, and we see that in the temple, literally in the Holy of Holies. There's this veil that separated even the priest from God's Holy of Holies, and you had to, every time that high priest went into the Holy of Holies, he had to do an offering for himself as well as all the people, and they had to tie a rope around his waist in case he didn't make it right and God didn't see him fit. He could die, and they would have to drag him out if he'd been in there too long. His dead body. So, veil.
Back to the veil. Whenever they were reading the Old
holy.
Testament, that there was a veil because people couldn't handle it and they didn't understand it, really, is what I think he's talking about. Is like they don't understand the fullness of God's glory when they read it. But when you accept Jesus as Lord,
When
that
Jesus
veil
came and died,
was taken away. Yeah,
he broke that curse and made us pure and holy.
So now you can, not only can we have a relationship with God ourselves, we don't have to go through a high priest, but we can also read the Old Testament and see all of God's glory, and like it's not like a foggy, like, oh, we're just reading about some people running through the desert, but we can see God's glory and goodness through it all, right?
We don't have to be afraid of dying in the Holy of Holies because we have been made pure by his blood. We are spotless lambs, his children. We have become heirs with Christ, heirs of love. And the old law focuses on judgment, and the new law focuses on love. What are the greatest commandments? Love your neighbor as yourself, and love God above all others. Those are the 2 greatest commandments after Jesus came.
And what is God? God is love.
Yeah.
And
So
gave.
Moses read, and a veil covers the hearts. We must turn to the Lord, and the veil is removed. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. We are now free in Christ. So verse 18, and we all who with unveiled faces contemplate the Lord's glory are being transformed into his image with ever increasing glory, into his image. His image is love, which comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit. So we're also being made.
So because we don't
Made
have
in the
that
Spirit.
veil, there's freedom, because we are free to see God's glory to its fullest. If we seek him, then he will show us.
Yeah, and in Isaiah 55:8 and 9, we can never fully understand, though, from God's perspective. We see the glass darkly, but that's why God says in Isaiah 55:8 and 9, he says that his thoughts and his ways are higher than ours, and she's going to read it.
55:8 and 9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts.
So we can trust him to transform us, and we can trust to be in his presence, that it is the best thing. And even if we don't understand it. So how do we live out our calling? We walk by the Spirit, we live and are led by the Spirit, and our freedom is Christ plus nothing, because he is enough at the cross, and more than enough for you today. And you're called to be free. So what is our calling? What is the meaning of life?
To be free and to be fruitful.
Mm-hmm.
And share that freedom with other people and bring them with you.
It's all for God's glory.
Yep. Alright, well, there is freedom is our lettering for today. Don't forget to tag us in it, #Heirs of Love, and we'll see you tomorrow.
And
We'll have a giveaway soon, so be looking out for that.